Hey now, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of IoT Nuggets with IoT Group. I'm Doug Cohen from M10 Social, and to my left in the upper quadrant there is my illustrious co-host, Mr. Steve Brummer.
Good. Hello, everybody. Hey now.
Hey now. My illustrious co-host, Steve Brummer from IoT Group. And we have a couple of special guests with us today from Goin Mobile. We have Mr. Kevin McCoy, the general manager, on camera down below me.
Great to be here.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
Yours, Jim.
And Jim Fischer, also the owner of Goin Mobile, joining us via audio. So thank you, Jim, for jumping in as well.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you. And we understand that Jim is on audio because if he came on camera, he would make us all look a little bad. So I think thank you for joining via audio and saving us.
That's not what I said. For the record.
For the record. So a little housekeeping as usual with bhiotgroup.com being the website over there. If you want to reach out and connect with Steve Brummer and John Hubler and the rest of the team at IoT Group to talk about your IoT deployment and your strategy and how to bring it to market. And also make sure you connect with us on YouTube as well as LinkedIn so you can see the rest of the nuggets. Which brings us to today's nugget, Goin Mobile. Like I said, we have Kevin McCoy and Jim Fischer joining us. And to talk a little bit about their branded IoT offering of push-to-talk over cellular at USA-PTT.com. And I'm going to pass it off to Steve to talk to you gentlemen about that offering.
Excellent. Thanks, Doug. Kevin, Jim, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of the audience is going to be really trying to understand your business model and what you're all about, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation. So as an old PTT guy, I know what PTT stands for, but why don't you guys tell us a little bit about Goin Mobile and what you're doing around PTT and its involvement around IoT?
You want to take that, Kevin?
Sure.
So Goin Mobile has been in business just a little over 30 years. We've been in the two-way radio business, as I understand you were at one point, Steve, as you mentioned. And we have most recently created a brand, USA PTT Two-Way Radios. It's our own private label brand that is operating over the AT&T data network, providing nationwide and even some international coverage for customers who need to communicate more than just in a region, a local area. As you're familiar with, the history of two-way radios, you needed towers to be able to communicate over wide areas, and those are always going to be limited. And we've done that for 30-odd years. And this is really what I refer to as 21st century two-way radio, incorporating GPS tracking. You've got an app and a smartphone app and some software we can put on your PC that is like a dispatch terminal, turns your PC into a dispatch terminal. So it's really an exciting thing, and I think it's the future of the two-way radio industry, particularly for the business and industrial customers.
So what's your strategy as it relates to Goin Mobile? I mean, are you going through, you're looking for channel partners and agents and resellers? Are you selling direct? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing for North America, and is this a global thing?
Go ahead, Kevin.
So we actually have multiple channels. So we do sell direct, mostly by response through email marketing and Google ad marketing through our website. But we also have a network of dealers, which we're always looking to expand upon because we think that dealers or at least the number of dealers is going to probably allow us to penetrate a lot more of the United States than what we can do through the website. So far, it's worked pretty well. We'd love to have more dealers. I think that we will expand probably over the next year to probably 50 dealers across the United States. And once that happens, it provides everybody with a really good revenue stream.
So, Jim, is there any specific vertical markets that you guys are better suited for? I know you did a lot with frontline workers, but tell us a little about those specific markets you're attacking.
Yeah, for our IoT solution here, the push-to-talk over cellular, we're really not focusing on the first responders, public safety. We don't see it as that type of a solution, but it's an absolutely ideal solution for transportation companies, for schools and school bus transportation, medical transportation, construction, landscapers, HVAC companies, fuel oil, property management, casinos, hotels, you name it. So it's really that heart and soul of what you remember as the two-way radio industry, aside from the public safety. So, it's a massive market. And what's really exciting is that, Kevin mentioned about signing up dealers, and we're doing a lot of that. And what we're finding is that we're getting more non-traditional type of people who haven't necessarily been in the two-way radio industry, who are taking an interest. They know they have contacts within these different vertical markets, and they're coming to us and saying, hey, we'd like to represent your product, and we have this, maybe property management area in a certain part of their geography, and they've got a lot of contacts there, and they can really do very well with it. So we're seeing some of that. It's not just your traditional two-way dealers who are coming on board with us.
And Jim, Kevin and Jim, since you guys are on AT&T's network, does that mean that I can utilize your product on a roaming basis, or is there no roaming charges? How does that all work from a global standpoint?
There are no roaming charges. We actually just have the nationwide network. And what's interesting about AT&T, because we get a lot of comments from people, well, I just don't have AT&T coverage. And we actually use AT&T's data network. So we actually get a little bit better coverage because there isn't the quality of service on ours, although we do provide very good voice, but we don't have the quality of service bandwidth issues that regular cellular companies have. So we actually have coverage where some people don't have any AT&T coverage. And AT&T is mandated by FirstNet to actually build out 95% of the United States by 2025.
Right, right, exactly. And I know in the old days, for us to do a dial to a cell phone number on an old Motorola two-way radio, it had to go through a whole system that we designed. Are you able to, with your Motorola handhelds, be able to dial a cellular phone number that then goes through the AT&T network?
No, we don't actually provide cellular voice calls. Ours is strictly a push-to-talk solution.
Got it.
So it's almost instantaneous communications no matter where you are within the AT&T network. So there's no routing issues that we have to worry about. We also provide, with some of our devices, Wi-Fi coverage inside of buildings because, again, one of the complaints was, well, I don't have cellular coverage in my buildings. Well, we have a solution for that as well.
So you can actually do the push to talk through Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. And how is it being priced? I know we're kind of going off script, guys. Sorry, but I have a tendency to do that.
Sure. Jim, you want to handle that?
Sure. We have some flexibility. If somebody's got 1,000 radios that they need to get, then we're willing to talk with them about that. But we have some very, very competitive pricing. As a matter of fact, probably less than what you used to charge on your 900 megahertz system way back in the day. And just to clarify something you said earlier, Steve, you used the Motorola name, and the radios are not actually Motorola radios. They're our own private label of USAP radios. So, awesome. But anyway, we have very competitive pricing. We don't feel that we need to overcharge for this. We find that we're competitive against anybody actually in this industry, and there aren't many people who are doing it at the level that we are. So we're flexible in those regards when it comes to designing a system that works for people and at the right value for them.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, this was great. We love having new products and new ideas on IoT Nuggets. That's what it's all about, and that's why people come join us. So this was exciting. Thank you for me. I kind of had these flashbacks of what I did for a very long period of time. But for everybody out in the audience, it's usa-ptt.com to get in touch with Jim and Kevin and to better understand a little bit about the service that they're providing. Appreciate you guys being on. So, Doug, back to you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, gentlemen. I also had a couple of flashbacks back to my telecom days in the mobile industry as well. So it was fun to to listen to how that's relevant and playing in the IoT space today. Very good information, and we appreciate you joining. We also appreciate you out there watching and sharing and commenting and participating in IoT Nuggets. So be sure, once again, to reach out to bhiotgroup.com up there in the corner to talk to Steve Brummer, John Hubler, and the rest of the BHIoT Group team about your Internet of Things strategy and how to bring it to market. And be sure to join us next time on IoT Nuggets. And if you have a company and you are a subject matter expert in the IoT space, reach out and let us know. We'd love to have you on as a guest. So once again, thank you to our guests today. And gentlemen, we'll see you soon. And everybody, we'll see you on the next episode of IoT Nuggets.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.